Second. All right. Praise God. Hallelujah. Yes. Thank you, Jesus. It's been a rough day for a lot of us, and we are coming live today with testimonies and praise. I have with me a friend of mine who has gone through a lot these past 17, 18 years. And as you guys know, we've been talking a lot about reentry. And people are like, why are you doing that? Because we need to know what's really going on with our sisters and brothers. And if it wasn't for the grace of God, it could have been me. It could have been you. It could have been any of us. But God saw fit to not allow us to go through that. But then God also saw fit to bring Carolyn. And you guys have seen James Clay on my show many, many times, talking about what he's going through and the difference, what God continues to do for him and his life, and how he's just being a great testimony to everybody. Praise God. And if it wasn't for the grace of God, we would not be here. So we thank God for Carolyn being here, and we know that she's kind of a little nervous to talk about her story, but I pray that someone hears it and will be able to understand her plight and will finally get to see Jesus in all this, because that's what it's all about. Amen. So I would like to introduce to you guys Miss Carolyn White. You just give us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get started.
All right. Thank you so much, Jackie, for having me on this show. Let me just start out by saying it is by the grace of God that I'm still here today, and I'm still walking, and I am just succeeding to whatever he needs me to do. So I'm just going to say this. Let's get this out of the way. 17 years ago, probably at this right point in time today, I was telling my two children that their father had just passed away. So, like I said, by the grace of God, he has kept me walking today. It's been a rough day on multiple levels with multiple issues. So, I give all my praise to him first and foremost. But I started out, it was, 17 years ago when I lost him. I turned to addiction. I turned to alcohol. I went through roughly $30-some thousand in about 2.5 months' time, in just in alcohol alone. I was not playing. So I was hurt. I didn't want to deal with things. I didn't know how to deal with things. I was running. That was my nature. I'm a runner. Okay, I run from issues, right? So yeah, I didn't want to face. I didn't know how to. So that's what I did. Eventually, 9 months later, it caught up to me. A case had caught up to me, I should say. And at that point in time, I got a 20-year sentence for my addiction. There was other things involved also, but that was the whole point of it, was my addiction. So I went to prison. I was very, 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 very bitter. Let me back up one second. I did 13 months in Franklin County in the workhouse, first of all. Okay. My trial getting delayed. So finally, when I went to prison, I was very angry. I was really angry at God. Didn't understand, didn't know what was going on. First of all, at that point in my time, after going through what I've gone through and losing him in that process, I just totally flipped the script. I don't want to go into details about it, but I just kind of spaced out there for a while. So they had me very heavily on medication in the county, which I loved. I slept the whole time, loved it. So when I got to prison, they gave me more medication. So I didn't deal with anything. I didn't accept anything. I didn't own up to my wrongs. So during that time, about the first year or two in there, they would give me medicine for this, medicine. Well, it would do the opposite effect on me and bring me down even more. But then they would increase it. I would sink lower. And finally, one day, I had one of the psychologists up there. She's like, you're over drugged. You need to, and she noticed it. And I'm like, I at that point in time, it really had hit me. Like, I just need to stop everything. I need to stop everything. I need to come completely clean and deal with life. You know, I had two children, 7 and 11, and I promised them it would be the three of us from that night on. And 9 months later, I left them.
Wow.
For 20 years. For 20 years, I left them.
How old were your kids then?
7 and 11. Yeah. They were
Wow.
just babies. So they were extremely angry at me. They were refusing to come see me. They were refusing to talk to me, to write me letters, to do anything. And that broke my heart more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I know or knew back then they were very well taken care of. They were with my parents. They were loved. They had anything and everything they wanted. So that was very reassuring to me, where I know a lot of women that are in prison don't even know where their children are.
Mm.
So, right. So that was one big relief for me. Eventually, I just told them both. I said, I know you're angry. I know you're mad. So you write anything you want to me. You have a free for all. You can say what you want. I don't care. You're not going to be in trouble. And they did. And it hit. Oh, they did. They did. And they got their free for all. But it really tore my heart up. It tore me to pieces. Looking at it from their point of view, from a child's eyes, I looked at it, and we started changing a lot of issues, and finally and eventually, we started getting a relationship back. But that's what really hit me. And then when they told me, like, you're over medicated, you really need to stop these meds, that was just the final straw. My children meant more to me. So I stopped everything. I got completely clean. I dealt with all my issues. I dealt with what I had done in my case. I owned up to it, which was hard for me because that's not my character.
Mm-hmm.
Before I caught all of this, I had a beautiful home. I had 2 cars and a boat, and on the PTO, on Kids Association, Girl Scout leader, Boy Scout leader, very, very heavily involved with my children. You name it, we did it. Mm-hmm. So everyone in the community knew it. And it was just, it was very hard. This was a part of my life that I had never been really exposed to.
Yeah.
So walking around up there, I remember riding in that van when they took me in, and I'm like, listen, talking to myself, I'm like, God, you got to have me in here now, because it's either I have to own up and I have to be super, super strong and put this big front on, or what's going to happen. Because you see all the horror stories and everything, and you have no clue what's really going to happen.
Right.
And I did. I put that big front on, and it worked for a long time.
Okay.
But, and then when I took it off, I had to be the real me. And I had more respect up there for being who I truly was.
So you say you put the big front on. What do you mean?
Oh, I just put the big tough act on.
Oh,
don't
okay.
Me, like, don't mess with me. I don't want to hear it. I ain't got no part of this or whatever. You just put the big front on, like you're. So that's what I did.
Wow.
And,
wow.
I got right back out with the girls. They say something smart to me, I'd be right back in their face, which was really dumb at that point in time. I had a lot to lose, and it did come back and bite me eventually. But that's just how I was.
Wow.
For a long time. Mm-hmm. And like I said, at that point in time, I was very angry with God. I remember one day I went out on that walk jog, and I was going in circles, walking them laps. At the same time, I'm cussing him out. Like, I don't understand why are you doing this? Just going off on him, talking. Yeah. And and then, exactly. So then eventually, a short time after that, someone handed me a Bible one day. I was like, I'm still angry. Right. Instead of God, so this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there one night, it was late at night, and I just opened it.
Mm.
And so yeah, I opened that up. I just started reading. I didn't understand it quite well, but I read it. Um, right after that, shortly, I went to the hole, got in some trouble, and we went to the hole, took that Bible with me, and I read it from the front to the back.
How long were you in the hole? And can you kind of explain what happens in the hole?
What happens in the hole is you're locked in a very, very small confinement. It's all right there together. So you don't go out at all. You may go out once a day for maybe 15 minutes to grab a shower.
Wow.
You don't get one on the weekends. So you're locked in there for the rest of the time.
Mm.
You have no TV, none of your music. You have nothing. They may give you a couple pieces of paper, a little, tiny like golf pencil. That's all we have.
Wow.
So I had my Bible with me and I read it from the very first page to the end.
How long were you in the hole?
I was in the hole for at 3 months.
Good God. Are you kidding?
No. I was supposed to do 6 months in that hole, and the warden came back and we talked and she let me out after 3 months.
Okay. You're separated from everybody else that's in prison. You're in prison and you're in a hole. Basically, it's just a big room and it's just you and a piece of paper and the Bible. And that's it.
That's it. You have your room, you have a bunk bed, you may have a bunkie in there with you, so someone else may be in there with you. Whether you get along with them or not, that's who you're getting.
Wow.
So so you better work it out.
Mm.
Yeah, they bring you your meals in there, they bring you everything you need, it's in there.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's so inhumane to put anybody in a situation like that. I understand that you're in jail and it's nothing like being out here. We're so spoiled that we got to have this, we got to have this, we got to have that type of shampoo and this type of lotion. And in prison, I'm sure you don't have your pick of lotion.
No.
Or anything. Wow, I just can't imagine.
I mean, I think you have 2 different choices. That's about it.
Okay. And you can't have visitors while you're in the hole, correct?
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay.
I did have one visit because I was back there for so long, but I was still handcuffed.
Hmm.
I was still handcuffed and it was behind a glass window, So they're on one side, I'm on the other side, and you're talking through a little tiny speaker.
Mm.
That was it. And you got like 15 minutes and that was about it.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was more shame on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know last night, Caitlin Tiggs had a panel on of some women who were in prison, and they talked about some very inhumane. I don't even want to. I can't say it. When women are going through their monthly cycle and having to wait for somebody to bring them a tampon or whatever.
Yes.
Probably not even a tampon, just something to use. And yeah, and I'm just thinking if it's that, so that's everything. They wait. Whatever you need has to be given to you by the COs, correct?
Yeah, that's true.
How did you get treated? I mean, I know you said you were in the hole, so evidently you did something that you weren't supposed to do, and then they put you in the hole. But how was your overall treatment?
The overall treatment is I don't want to say terrorize you, but that's basically what they do.
Yeah. So they kind of break you.
Walking by or banging on the door at all hours. We have little metal flaps that flap down in the middle of the door so they pass things back and through, or they'll just walk by, let it down, and just slam it shut.
Why?
Just because they can. Just because they can. It's kind of like, we're going to teach you not to come back here again. don't come back to the hole.
Oh, wow.
So they're trying to teach us a lesson. Yeah.
Did you learn the lesson?
I learned a lesson, yes.
Okay.
I learned a lesson, yes. But I still went back one more time. So
Wow.
and and you could go back for anything. And this is the example. I went back the second time because when I first arrived in prison, we were allowed to take just so many brawls with us. I had 7 brawls. I had them on my paperwork, my intake sheet. I had everything documented.
Okay.
Well, and they were colored brawls, but since I spent 15 years in there, over the years, they only went to white or black. That was it.
Oh, wow.
Right. So someone, went and told on me that, hey, she's got this colored bra. And I went to the hole for it. I went to the hole under investigation, and I was in there for, I think, 14, 15 days. Now, the next day, after I went to the hole very late at night. Actually, I went coming back straight from a bedside visit with my grandmother. They were pulling the van back in. It was like 5 minutes before 9 o'clock count there. And the CO, which was really, really good to me, he's like, White, what did you do? I have to take you to the hole. Like, I have no idea. I had no clue what was going on. So I finally, the next day, when they take me up to the investigator's office, they're like, well, you have this bra. And I'm like, yeah, sure do. Go get all my paperwork. I saved it for all these years. I'll tell you exactly where it's at and all my property. Yeah.
Okay. So what happened? I mean, I don't understand why they put you in the hole though. Because you're not supposed to have that color bra now?
I was not supposed to have it. Right. But I had it grandfathered in because I had the paperwork for it. But it took them like 14 days to go get it and to let me out. Yeah. So, and they gave everything back to me.
They can't give you 14 days back.
No, they cannot. No.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So the times that you were in, because I know you said your kids did not visit you at first, but then they started to come visit. How was that? How was seeing your kids and
it was heartbreaking. It was joyous, I mean, it just filled my heart when I seen them and we got to spend that afternoon together. But when they left, it was heartbreaking for me because I knew they were upset with me, rightfully so. I'm not taking anything from them. But I knew they were upset with me. I was afraid like, oh, they're not going to come back again. But they did. And eventually, we started more and more working on that relationship. Okay. My dad would bring him up one week, my mom bring him up another week. So I got to see him a couple times. But we pieced it all back together, and as they got older, of course, their sports, they were heavily involved in sports, so I didn't see them as much in their teenage years.
Right.
Because of all of that. But we were constantly on the phone talking, and that made it a lot nicer.
Okay.
I really got to understand things from their perspective. I just totally flipped everything around. Like I was sitting in their chair. And it gave me so much more respect.
Wow.
And I understood where they were coming from. I understood their hurt. I understood their pain. Right. I understood a little bit about what they were going through on the outside. But I didn't clearly fully understand a lot of that until actually I got home, and I'm hearing a lot more things now. And they'll let the whole family, and I'll be like, what's going on? So that's kind of what happened. And my heart still breaks for it.
Right. So what kept you going? I mean, I know you said 20 years. That's a lifetime for a lot of us.
Well, at first, like I said, that first year or two, I didn't want to do the 20 years. Honest and truly, during my case, I left and I did attempt suicide. I took 76 Ambiens. They found me, yes. And for whatever reason,
how many?
Got 76. Yeah. It's a sleeping pill.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, God's got a purpose for me. Sometimes I don't understand what it is, but I'm realizing more and more now what it is. But, and after that, even when I was up there for that first year, I wavered back and forth. Like, is this really worth it? Can I do this for 20 years?
Yeah.
And that's when, like I said, I was real angry, and I talked to him, and I said everything I ever had to say to him, and he continued to pull me through.
Yeah.
So, I started seeing all my little blessings count, and they were small ones. Just, okay, the money showed up for commissary the day before it was time to go shop.
Okay.
It was just small like that. Or, hey, White 8-9, you have a visit. I would have a surprise visit and have no clue who it was. It was just very small things that just started happening. Or,
Wow.
hey, you just got accepted into this class.
Okay.
Or you just got a great job here in the prison system.
Mhm.
The small things that started adding up, and I just looked back and I was like, wow, okay, there's no one else that could have done that but God.
But God. But God.
Exactly. So I'm just like, all right, you got a purpose for me. I don't know what it is. I don't understand. Just continue to pull me through. And he did.
Wow.
So
So
that
let's try to go a little farther to where it's time for you to get out. What's the plan?
what was my plan? Honestly, I didn't even have a plan. I just wanted out.
Right.
I did go for a judicial couple years back. I went back to court. Everything was looking great. The judge was going to let me back out. And at the very last minute, the prosecutor brought something up that hindered me. It was a new bill that was signed the day before I went into court.
You got to be kidding me.
Within 18 hours, that bill got signed and I went to court. That's what stopped me. So I had to go back one more year. That was extremely hard for me after just saying my goodbyes to everyone. I just spent 14 years with these ladies. They're like my family. Giving up my job, my position in there, which I worked at a mental health in that facility with all the doctors, all the psychologists, all of them. I developed and ran almost 27 different programs for the mental health department. I also helped start a military prep program in there.
What?
And I facilitated with them. So I did many different things in there.
Wow.
So I left all of that. I was at peace with all of that. And then he's like, I have to send you back for one more year. I have to. We don't have a choice. So when I, rode back in, I was just bawling my eyes out.
Not bad.
They had already got word I was coming back. So I had all the ladies up there ready to greet me. Everything I ever owned that I had given away, I had every item right back.
Oh, good.
Everything. And when I got up there, I went and talked to the sergeant. He called me straight in his office and he's like, hey, I got a bed move in for you because I know you're not in a good area. And I'm like, great. Are you putting me in the military bay? He's like, no.
What is military? What is that?
Military, it's just like a boot camp.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just like a boot camp. We were up at 4 a.m, out by 4:15, out PTing for an hour and a half. Rain, shine, it didn't matter. Yes, we did everything. We had a whole separate bay for them.
Okay.
It's beds, military style. We stripped them of every single thing they owned. Everything. We packed it up for them, and they lived just like in boot camp. You march everywhere you go. You go as a squad. You do you do not speak to the other ladies up there. It's very intense.
So who determines who goes where? Is it your attitude? How, if you're good, it's, you're saying this is not something that everybody gets to do. So who decides who gets to go to the military bay opposed to the other?
The ladies have to apply for it.
Okay.
They have to want this, and then they're interviewed, and we don't take everyone. You don't have to, you can't have tickets.
What's a ticket?
A ticket is when you get in trouble and a CO or someone will write you up a ticket. It's just like getting a speeding ticket. You know, you get in trouble for speeding, you're going to get a ticket. You get in trouble for contraband or out of place or whatever the reasoning may be, you're going to get a ticket.
So what happens with the ticket? You have to go to court, or you just go to the warden?
You just go up to your sergeant. You can get whatever punishment he feels you should have. Whether it's commissary restriction, you get put on your bed early. You're not allowed to go out to the yard. It's just whatever he feels like doing.
Lord Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, my head is spinning. I'm serious. I've been in several prisons. I've been at Chillicothe. I've been at DCI. I've been in the one in I can't think of the name of it. The one in anyway. I've been to several different ones, and I'm always coming out. So I never know. You know, I see the girls coming into for prison ministry, and we talk to them and pray for them, but we had no idea. I think this is the reason why I'm doing this, because we need to know what's really going on in the prisons, and you don't know if you don't talk to people. And some people will never do prison ministry because it's just so real. When those doors close behind you, and you have to wait till somebody else comes and open them, it's rough. You know, it's rough. It's devastating. But at least we know that we're waiting for somebody to open the door. You guys are sitting there doing time, for, oh my God, just makes my heart break for all those women. And there's so many. So how many women are in a cell? Is it just 2, or is it 4, or is it?
So there are different dorms. Some dorms have a 2-person room.
Okay.
Some dorms have 6 to 8 in the rooms. And then some dorms are just completely open. Just like, trying to think of how to, it's just, okay, like the cottage that I lived in, or the dorm, it was just like a big old pole barn. And you just had rows and rows and rows and rows of beds.
Oh, wow.
So, you would probably have like 28 beds lined up in this bay. 28 bays lined up in this bay. And we had 8 bays in there. So, and part of it, and there was one program, which is great. But we were so close, like the little girl that was sleeping right beside me, we were literally probably just like from my hand to her elbow. I mean, we were that close. You couldn't even fit in between our beds. We were that close.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was very trying. But you just had to have that attitude. You had to have that positive thinking. You just had to go in like, okay, we're just gonna have to make this work. One way or another, we'll both compromise. We'll both do whatever is needed. And if you ended up with someone that doesn't want to compromise, then you just have to be the bigger lady and do what needs to be done.
Wow. Let me ask you a question. Because I know you said some things, your husband passed away, and then that, you were alone and you're feeling all kind of, different things, and things start to happen. What would you tell, or what could you tell your younger self? If you knew now what you
not to run,
knew back then, what you knew now, not to run,
ask for help.
Okay.
And I had the help. That's what's really sad. I had the family. I had the help.
Wow.
I had 5.5 acres. I had a humongous log house that we had designed and built it. And so I had a long driveway, and I could see them coming down my driveway, and I would hide in the house. I wouldn't answer the door. I wouldn't answer my phone. I blocked everyone out, and that was the worst thing I have ever done. And I remember one night, I can admit this now. One night, the sump pump in my basement had gone out. So my mom and dad were over there fixing it for me. And I was in the living room, almost passed out on the couch. I have the flu. I'm just sick. I have the flu. I had alcohol poisoning.
Oh, wow.
I'm not even gonna lie about it. I did back then. Don't get me wrong. I didn't want anyone to know what I was doing. I didn't want anyone to know I was drinking. If I went out anywhere, I would pour my alcohol in a big McDonald's cup.
Wow.
So no one knew what I was drinking. I'd be at the mall or go where I need to go and I need more. I'd run out to my car. Hey, fill it back up.
Mhm.
I functioned like that for a while.
Wow.
But I mean, you need to ask for help. There's no shame in asking for help.
Mhm.
It's going to end up eventually saving your life. Every night I went to the bar. My children were with his family, which is out of town.
Okay.
So every night I was at the bar.
Mm.
Every night when I left that bar, pretty much blacked out, drunk, I would put my Tahoe in the ditch. Almost every single night. Thank
Wow.
goodness my aunt was the bartender there and she knew it. Here she come. Bail me out every time.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you wasn't just drinking, you were driving drunk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was. And I'm very blessed that I never caused an accident with anyone else.
Right.
I never harmed anyone else.
Absolutely.
Never harmed myself drinking and driving, but just the fact of the matter now, I could have killed a whole family.
Yes.
So I look back on these things and I just see now like how God was truly with me. He
was.
blessed me every step of the way. He let me make my own choices and make my mistakes,
Mhm.
but he never allowed me to go and physically hurt anyone else.
Praise God.
Yeah.
So many people just are not that lucky. It's not even luck, it's blessed.
Yeah.
Because I
True.
have a nephew right now who is, well, it's not even nephew, he's my girlfriend's son. He's right now is suffering, trying to get better because he was hit by a drunk driver and he's having to do everything all over again. All he can't, I mean, he's just said that, I think he said his first words was no, I think
Mm.
a few days ago. And, so yeah, I feel, wow. So let's go back. So now you're getting out. You're out. What happens when you get out?
Well, first of all, when I got out, because I still have 5 years left.
You still have 5 years now?
I got out at 15 instead of 20. So I
Okay.
still have years left. The judge
So your sentence was 20.
Yes.
You did 15 or 13 of it?
I did 15.
You did 15 of it. And then
Yep.
you have to still do the other 5, but you're out.
I am.
Okay. Kind of explain that. What happens when you're doing the 5 years? What do you have to do?
So what happens now is my first year out, I got put on house arrest. So I had to wear an ankle monitor for the first year.
Wow.
Which was okay because I got out on a Wednesday. That Friday is when the governor shut everything down for COVID. So couldn't go anywhere anyways.
Okay.
Months, right. So
all right. That's good.
I mean, I was allowed to meetings. I was allowed to go to my doctor's appointments. If I had something very special, he gave me permission to go to it. So I did get out a little bit. I was able to get a job while I still had that on.
Okay.
Right.
What kind of job were you able to get?
Logistics.
Logistics. Oh, wow. That's awesome.
That's what I'm allowed to say.
That's fine. That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he put me on house arrest on that monitor for the remaining of my 5 years. He took it off after the first year.
Okay.
And then when I went back again this past March, well, that's when it was taken off. But he's like, let's get this, completely ended within the year.
Wow.
I go back in the beginning of September. So I'm truly hoping that everything will be done at that point in time.
So once it's done, then they can't come back on this. You're
No.
done. Oh, I'm praying for that. Hallelujah. Yes, Lord.
I will be free, completely free.
What could mess it up? I mean,
right now, if I would relapse, if I would go out and drink or go get high again, if I would leave state, if I would, go commit another crime, any of them things can mess it up for me. If I don't obey what my PO wants me to do.
Yeah.
Which I have an amazing probation officer.
Mhm.
I'm in constant touch with him. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. He's like, hey, go do it. Just keep
Good.
me, go do it. I'm in several different programs that I'm working with reentry and stuff, which, it's my passion now. I
Yeah.
really do a recovery center. And the more I'm going into reentry and working with these people, seeing these people come out, because I know what I went through.
Yeah.
Let's help them.
Amen.
So,
Wow.
yeah, so that's, he's like, hey, go do whatever you got to do. If you need to leave the state, you just let me know and I'll get it approved. So
Wow.
he's been absolutely amazing with me.
That's good. Does
So
everybody have that? I mean, you don't always have that.
no,
Yeah, I didn't think so. So
no,
I'm seeing a pattern, and I'm seeing a pattern of what God has done.
yeah,
I mean, even though you went in, and God still protected you. You came out. You came out 5 years earlier. I believe you
yeah,
came out at a time that God said, "Okay, I can use her,"
yeah.
because
He used
now
me
you've
in
been
there.
used.
Yeah, he
See?
absolutely used me in there with teaching the programs that I taught
God.
and just meeting with all the women in there.
Yeah.
When I first arrived there was 1,300 ladies in that prison. And when I left, there was almost 3,000.
Oh my God.
And I would be walking anywhere in that institution and constantly I would be having someone say, hey, hi, Miss White. Hi, Miss White. Hi, Miss White. I'm like, hi, how are you? And I didn't even know half of them.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. My name was out there. You taught these programs, you helped these people. This is what's going on. And eventually I had the total respect of all the staff up there.
Mhm.
And they would come to me since I worked through the mental health, be like, hey, so-and-so needs help. Hey, so-and-so, can they come talk to you?
Mhm.
No one's over there. Are they able to talk to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had that respect with them. And I just, I guess in a sense, God allowed me to use my position up there to help
Mhm.
all of them,
Absolutely, you did. Is
so,
that program still going on now?
the last that I heard that it is,
Okay.
so I'm not sure.
So after you're off completely, are you able to go back into prison ministry?
I'm going to try it.
Okay.
I'm going to try. I've had no contact with anyone up there. I have some girls up there are just like my family,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
I've had no and I told them like, I'm going to stay in touch with you. I'm not going to just walk away.
Yeah.
And that's been one of my hardest things, but I have gotten messages to them. This is what I'm doing. So bear with me.
Yeah.
I've not walked away from you, but
Right.
this is what I have to do in order to get back in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Wow.
that's where we're at. So they all know what I'm doing and I'm trying to get back in.
That's good.
Yeah.
So what's next with you? I know you said you got another couple months that you'll be able to hopefully get out. Then what?
What's
Then
next?
what? Yeah.
My own place.
Okay.
My own place. And I haven't decided where I'm going yet, but just I want to work with these women.
Yeah.
Women that's been through abuse, women that's been through trauma, women that need to get back out here into society, women that are single mothers
Yeah.
trying to get their children back and don't know how to do it. They just don't know how to get their life back together. Well, let's help them get it back together. I had actually numerous people that never gave up on me. I didn't see it at that point in time, when I was at my lowest. But I see it now, and I've seen it over the past couple of years. Then people never gave up on me, even when I feel like they should have. Even God never gave up on me. He gave me numerous chances over and over and over, probably when I didn't deserve it. But he never walked away. He never gave up. And so I'm not going to walk away from somebody if they need help. Let's help them.
Amen. Well,
So
you've helped me already. I mean, I'm supposed to be helping you, but you already you put both your feet forward, and you're like, look, this is happening. This is happening. So, and you've been very, very patient. You've been kind. You've been I thank you for being open It can't be easy to talk about what you've been through. Just to say the word that I've been to prison is a lot. Do people treat you differently when you talk about that today? Have you noticed it?
Um, Actually, yes,
Okay.
some do. But also on the other hand, I have just eliminated everyone from my past out of my life.
Oh wow.
I have. So, I'm here. I maybe have a handful of people in my life right now. That's it.
Okay.
And I've just eliminated everyone. I'm just starting over. I'm very cautious, and I'll just I don't want to go that path again. I'm not going to go back down that path again.
Oh, and we don't want you to go back.
Exactly.
We don't want you
So,
to go.
and I can tell you some more stories. I can tell you all kinds of stories about what goes on in there. And,
Mm.
it's tough,
I
but
know we see a lot and hear a lot on TV and through shows and stuff. And I was told it was probably 50% worse than what we actually see. Um, so I can only imagine.
yeah, it's
Oh,
true.
yeah,
It's true. They hide a lot in there. They
yeah,
cover a lot of things up.
yeah.
They will just lie to the news like, oh no, this did not happen.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it did. We have proof in there that it happened, or that's when they will turn all of our phones off.
Mm.
They'll turn the phones off for a couple of days and be like, oh, well, we don't know what's wrong. Something's wrong. We're checking on it. You know exactly what's wrong. You don't want us calling our families and letting them know what's going on in here.
Oh wow. So they'll
So
turn the phones off so you can't call out?
yes, they will shut our phones off. They will shut our JPays down. And that's, their way of being like, hey, anything is said about this incident,
Mhm.
there's more punishment.
Okay, what's a JPEG? I know what it is, but can you explain to those who are?
Yeah, a JPay is a machine in there where we can kind of basically email back and forth. You have to purchase stamps, and then you use so many stamps, and I can send you an email, which is reviewed before it even goes out.
Of course.
They have to go through everything, and so they do that. You're able to send emails back to me. We can send pictures back and forth on it.
Okay.
We also have little tiny players, like we call them the JPay 5, 7, whatever they are nowadays. Little players, and they have music. You can download music onto them.
Okay.
So you always have music with you. Of course, they only let you select certain things. You don't get everything, but it's pretty nice stuff. So
How
it
much
gets
does that cost?
the little machine or the player is anywhere between 70 to, there's two different sizes. I think 170. I think one's like it's 100 maybe. I'm not sure. I
So
just had to,
your family would have to purchase this, correct? Or
they can purchase it, or they can just put money on your account and you can purchase it that way.
okay.
And then the music you buy, it varies up on the song. It can be like $1.19 up to a couple bucks.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, but that's yours to take home also.
Okay.
So it's yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you leave yours with someone?
No, I have mine.
Yeah, you. Okay.
I have mine.
Yeah.
I have tons and tons of money wrapped up in that in music. So yeah,
Okay.
I brought that with me.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
What would you say to anyone who is in the same situation that you were in, drinking and having all types of issues, not getting the help that they need, and going down this road of destruction? What would you say to that person?
I would say don't give up, because there is hope. There's always going to be hope. Don't ever give up on God, regardless of how upset you are or things you don't understand. There's always someone out there that has been through the same thing you're going through.
Amen.
There's always a meeting somewhere.
Somewhere.
There's a meeting every hour, every day. It doesn't matter. You just have to take that first step, though. I can't take it for you. You can't take it for them. They have to take it for themselves. But you don't have to take it alone.
Amen.
So there's always going to be someone to help you. but you just have to just reach your hand out. We'll grab a hold of you,
Right.
and we'll walk with you. But you just have to, take that first initial step. And it's not easy.
Mm-mm.
I'm not even gonna lie to that. No, it's not easy at all. But you'll have support to help you.
Amen.
Yeah.
Can you name a couple of the reentry programs that you're involved in there?
I knew you were gonna ask me that. Okay, so I do have a couple here.
Okay.
First off, Hope Letters.
Hope Letters.
Hope Letters is where we have citizens out here write to the ladies and gentlemen that are still incarcerated, that have no one else. They don't get mail. They have no one else to write to. So we have citizens out here that do write to them to uplift their spirits, just to talk, to do whatever. I personally am not able to write someone in prison. So I write to the writers.
Okay.
And I kind of give them little pointers here and there, or if they ever have questions, I'm help them with whatever they need help with, just to kind of, keep their morale boosted. So that's
Right.
what I. Another one is the battle tested bags. We do, I kind of go out. I've been to a meeting up here, a couple meetings in a certain situation that I was able to bring them up. And I do have a lady up here that likes to contribute to them. And it's something that everyone coming out to Montgomery County, I believe it is, it ends up with this bag, with clothing items and towels and personal hygiene, whatever they may need just to get them started. So, and then I always get these two words mixed up. It's like circle of spirit of circle. I always get them mixed up, and I do. I'm horrible. But that is just for women coming out, and it's a support group for each other. The daily tasks that we have to go through, just coming out of here, whether it's getting a job or just feeling these different emotions. A lot of people, once they walk out of prison, I know I did for a very long time, walking into a grocery store or anywhere, I felt like I had a target on me. I felt like I had this big old bullseye right on my back. Like, listen, I just walked out of prison.
Wow.
And I felt like everyone knows they're looking at me, and that's a horrible feeling.
Yes.
Or just to help these ladies, like, hey, let's give each other a little support here, because for me, 15 years ago, a lot has changed.
Yeah.
I can work the most complex computer system at work, but I can't work this daggone laptop and my cell phone. That's the honest truth. I'm constantly messing something up.
Right.
Hit the button I'm not supposed to, or doing this or whatever it is. But if you call me from work, I'll be like, hey, boom, 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 boom. It's done.
Right.
So a lot of people need help with that. I didn't know how to pump the gas. I got to use a card. Well, I don't know what to do now. Okay. I went shopping with my mom, and I have my bank card, and I'm like, what do I do? How do I work these machines?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like looking at my mom, like, hey, like, help me, because what do you do? How do you do it? And it's just to guide women through all these different things, whatever we need to do when we come out. Just being mothers, we give each other support. We keep, ideas.
Yeah.
We don't tell each other what to do, but like, this worked for me. I don't know if it'll work for you or not.
Right. Right.
Or just don't give up on anything.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Well, I am just so thankful to you and for you for being honest and open to others. And we have more coming on this coming Saturday. We have Heather and Benji Rogers. They will be telling their story at 5:30 on Saturday. And then Tony Holmes at 6:00 will be telling her story. These all are people who have been they were incarcerated, and now they are re-entry, back into society, and are doing wonderful things. And I tell you, God can use anybody. And I look at myself, it could have been me. It should have been me. A lot of things I was doing back when I was younger. I I just
Right.
think Pastor Matthews preached the other day that the only difference between us and those who are more incarcerated is that we just did not get caught. So I thank
Exactly.
God for catching me before I messed up. And I just so thankful to you. And I just want you let you know that I'm here for you. Whatever you need, you are not alone. I've put both feet forward within this reentry process, and I'm trying to help my brothers and sisters as much as I possibly can.
Right.
And one thing that Wendell Drake was on the show not too long ago, and one
Hmm.
thing he said to me that is to give them an open platform like I'm doing is something that a lot of people don't want to do. So as God gave me this platform, so whatever God say do, that's what's going to happen. So uh, until next time, until we are here again on Saturday with Heather and Benji Rogers, and also with Tony Holmes. And James Clay will be on another time too. So just gonna keep letting you know what's going on, so you can guys help. If you want to be a part of the Hope Letters that she was talking about, please contact me. Contact her. Reach out to us on Facebook. Reach out to James Clay. He would love to have you be a part. We need people to write letters. If you want to be a part of the battle tested bags, money. We need money. It takes money to get those done. And it's a beautiful bag. You've seen it on my show before. I'll put it on my page as well. If you want to be a part of any of the reentry, there's something called Building Freedom Alliance with Edwin Fuller. It's just a lot of different things. Alice Deeble. It's people are out here. We're working hard for our people so they can become better citizens. And like Carolyn, she's done wonderful things. She's been very, very bashful, but God has blessed her for the job that she has and to be able to continue to do what she's doing. I'm just thankful to God that He has shown you so much mercy, and just like He's shown so many of us. So God bless you. Thank you again for being on here, and I love you. Ain't a thing you can do about it
Yeah.
anyway. I love you.
All right.
And
Thank
until
you.
next time on Testimonies and Praise, see you then.